And now I would like to talk about the house rules that I would implement. I'm gonna try to put them here, and if they don't fit there, then I'm just gonna be off center for the rest of the video and look like a fucking idiot. I love implementing house rules whenever I run games, and the good thing about Daggerheart is that whenever you implement house rules, you can just say it's part of the campaign framework and then give a reason for those house rules to be there. The game actually, Daggerheart, the system, actually tells you to do this and that you should do this because your game should feel like your own. It should feel like Angel's game. It should feel like your game, your player's game. So don't be afraid of creating and implementing house rules for your own game. You can use the campaign frameworks that they have in the book to give you an idea of different house rules that you can implement. But I like it that they do tell you, you know, if you're gonna have house rules in your game, go ahead. But at the very least, give an explanation. Why is your world different? And something I was discussing with a friend of mine a few days ago. I see a lot of game masters creating their own worlds, and I love that. But then they end up creating a generic fantasy world, and it's just Forgotten Realms, but with different races. Nothing wrong with that if that's what you like, but I prefer give me something to work on or work off. Why is your world different? Why should I play in your world and not just Forgotten Realms? Personally, I don't really like Forgotten Realms. I've never been a fan. I think it's too, at least nowadays, it's very cookie cutter. It's very generic. But see something like Eberron. I love Eberron. Eberron has the dragon marked houses. You know, it has Dalkir. It has Soriat. It has the moons, and all of that can be worked into the plot. So whenever you generate or create your own fantasy world, give it a reason for it to exist. What does it have that other worlds don't have? So here are the house rules. I would do negligible damage because they have the damage thresholds, and I really like the damage thresholds. But I believe when you're experienced enough, you should be able to shrug off glancing blows or something that would have hurt you when you were at a lower level, and just when you're at a higher level just doesn't do anything to you. So my idea for negligible damage is equal to your level. So anything that deals damage equal to less than your level, so if you're level 1, you always take damage. But if you're level 2 and something deals 1 point of damage, that is negligible and you do not take damage. I enjoy that. I really like that. And it can increase with abilities that increase thresholds as well. So yeah, obviously Galapis, I think is the name of the race, the turtle people, would have that negligible threshold way bigger. So at level 2 they'd be shrugging off 2 damage instead of just 1. And I believe the heroes of the story should have that ability to just shrug off glancing blows or blows that generally wouldn't do much to them, especially when they're already seasoned and experienced adventurers. Added to that, I would do massive damage. Massive damage is taking your, and that was directly from the book. It's an optional rule, but I loved it when I read it. You take your maximum threshold and double it. Any damage that goes beyond double your max threshold deals 4 damage instead of 3. I like that a lot because it gives it like a big hit that just like fucks up your character in the nastiest way. You can start describing how they cough up blood, how one of their eyes gets swollen, they can't see from that eye for a while. You can do a lot narratively with massive damage rules. Then something I would also implement that you have here, I have there. You have it here. Hopefully, if not, I look like an idiot right now, but I have it there, so I'm reading it from there. Free-form domains. I would give the players the ability to just, when they're creating their character, pick 2 domains, any 2 domains, and those are the domains for your class. You can work a lot with this house rule because you could do it like you have to pick 1 domain from your class and you get 1 free domain. That's also something you could do. But I personally would just give them, you can pick any 2 domains that you want, and the 2 domains in your class are just the book's suggestions. Like, they suggest a lot of other things. The reason for this is that I feel like the powers in the domains are balanced enough that you could combine any 2 domains and you wouldn't break the game either. And yeah, some subclasses give you a spellcasting trait, and not all of them do. So if you're, for example, a warrior and you want the Codex or the Arcana domain, which are only spells, you do get a spellcasting trait, and the spellcasting trait is dependent on the domain, unless you have a subclass that gives you a domain, spellcasting trait. That's how I would do it. Here are the ones that I do. How I would like distribute them. Sorry, what are words just got out of work as well. And for multi-classing, I would keep multi-classing mostly as it is, meaning that you only pick half your level or lower when it comes to the domains from your multi-class. But I would also do it open, so you pick whatever you pick. You have your multi-class, and then you pick any new domain that you want. And if the new class that you picked and your original subclass, neither of them have spellcasting traits, you do get a spellcasting trait if your new domain does require one, following the same rules from picking your freeform domains. The Ranger's Companion, I would have them recover stress when the Ranger uses a rest action to recover their stress or their HP. That keeps your animal companion active longer, and people like to have, obviously, their animal companions longer. I do like that your animal companion doesn't die if their stress gets completely full. They just get knocked down or they run away because they feel hurt. Let's see. For the Ranger's Hope feature, now this is something that I've always done in my game. I like big fights with one enemy or a lot of enemies that just share a single stat block. I have been running games like this for almost 20 years now, and it's like one of my big trademarks as a game master. It's like angel runs, solo creatures all the fucking time. That is something that I actually enjoyed a lot from 4th edition, even though 4th edition is not my favorite D&D edition. It's probably my second least favorite. My least favorite one obviously is all the trash that came before 3rd edition. Give me a second. My fan is bothering me and it's doing weird noises. So what I would do here, since I always have one big creature or a lot of creatures that share one stat block, the Ranger has a big ability where they can, if they successfully hit someone, they can spend 3 hope and hit 2 other people. But since I don't have a lot of people in combat and I don't want the Ranger to not be able to use their big capstone ability, the one that requires 3 hope, I did it so they can either choose to hit 2 other people or hit the same target again, but the second hit deals half damage to keep it balanced. But basically, you are still dealing more damage because you don't have to roll to attack again, you just roll to damage again. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, the other ones that I have here, fear points, hope points, and react with fear and hope. If you want to run a game where you're not going to have that, if you don't want that many meta currency going around all the fucking time, what I would do, and I'm still very iffy on this one, because I saw firsthand just how integral having those meta currencies come into play and how much you use them. But something I would like to play around with is players only generate hope if they succeed with hope. And game masters only generate fear points if the players fail with fear. Because otherwise, it's always going to be a 50-50. 50% chance the players generate hope, 50% chance the game masters generate fear. Yeah, like, I'm gonna cook myself, but I have to turn off the fan because it keeps doing a whirring noise and it's driving me insane. I know that could hold people back a bit because, like, you know, you're toying around with the main core mechanics of the game, and I understand that. But that's why I said it's something I would test around with, because in the one shot that I run, players and I both generated a fuckload of meta currency, and to curb that a little bit, instead of being a 50% chance of always generating either or, you have a 25% chance of either generating hope or generating fear. And I believe that can slow down the game a little bit more. So if you want a more slow paced game, I would use these rules. Last but not least, I would have players and game masters generate their meta currencies with reaction rolls. The rules as written, they state that you don't generate fear or hope when you roll a reaction roll, and to me that makes no sense, because it makes perfect sense that if something suddenly happened, right, and you're reacting and you succeeded in the best possible way, you rolled with hope, then you would get a hope because you become hopeful, right? You become hopeful that you finally did it, right? That it caught you by surprise, but you were ready and you did it, so you would get a hope. The same way with fear, you succeed with fear, and it was a reaction, and you were able to stave off the arrow that flew past you, but like your heart is shaking now because obviously there are enemies near. Game Master generates a fear. To me, it makes sense. Yeah, you would have even more meta currencies, but I would actually marry the react with hope and fear with less hope and fear from the regular action rolls. I would use all those house rules together. Because to me, it really didn't make sense for players and game masters not to generate meta currencies with reactions. That to me seems like it's the best place to generate them, because it's like when shit just happens and everybody's surprised. So that's what I would do. I'm gonna remove the house rules now, and if I didn't, I'm gonna turn on the fan again. Yeah, I'm cooking myself. I don't want to cook myself. Now, hopefully, I remember to take off the house rules from this side of the screen. If not, I'm gonna look like an idiot when half of my face is covered up. But it is what it is, right? If you saw all my series, thank you for joining me. I hope this was as enriching for you as it was for me. And if you saw the full form video, wow, thank you so much. I know this video is probably gonna be over an hour long. Bless you for watching all of this and hearing me ramble for the most part, but honestly I was giving my honest opinions and reactions to the new game that everybody's talking about. I am very excited for creating stuff for this game. It's very easy to create stuff for this game. The SRD and the license that Daggerheart, like the people, like I forget the name of the press company that did this. I'm very thankful that they made this open to everybody, and hopefully throughout the year I'll be generating. I have an idea for 3 classes. I have an idea for a subclass for the wizard that I want to sit down and write. I already have my wife working on art for that. I'm really thinking taking my one-shot and publishing it so people can just have a one-shot to play whenever they want. Maybe release it with a campaign framework and give ideas and examples of what it is to become a vampire in the Daggerheart system. There's a lot you can do with this game, and I'm very happy for it. It's a game, it's very, at least for someone like me, it's very easy to sink your teeth into and just create a lot for it. But you have to be creative. If you're the type of person that is like, oh, I'm not that creative, stick to 5th edition. At least give this a try, see if it jives with you. But like, this is the type of game that I tell players, if you're not creative, you're not gonna enjoy it. It happens with my system. I've had people that they have not liked my system because my system is very open-ended. Your powers can look like whatever the fuck you want, and people get paralysis because they can't think of things to do, and that's okay because it's not for everybody. No game is perfect. No system is perfect. No player fits every table. You have to find what fits for you. Same goes for games. Game masters need to find what games fit their style. and players have to find games that fit their style too. It's a work in progress. We're always learning. Thank you so much for joining me in this series. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, rule number 1, always have fun.